Beijing has slammed NATO over what it calls a completely futile warning on China. The Chinese Foreign Ministry says the alliance disregards facts and smears Beijing's foreign policy. NATO's new strategic concept accuses China of using coercive policies that challenge the alliance's interests, security and values. It's also expressed concern about Beijing expanding its global influence in key technological sectors, all while remaining opaque about its intentions. China says it firmly opposes these perspectives and demands that NATO stop its groundless accusations. And for more on this, Olivia Xiong joins us live from Beijing. Olivia, the usual rhetoric from ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian in Beijing clearly against NATO's new strategic concept.
Yeah, that's right. China continues to have stern words, and perhaps it had already anticipated what NATO would have to say in its report. And given the increasing pressure that it's facing from the West, and so we see that China said that it was firmly opposed to NATO's warning of this China challenge, saying that hyping up the China threat is completely futile. We heard from China's mission to the EU, who said that it was a malicious attack and a smear on China. The foreign ministry here also, when asked about it, added that the new strategic concept makes irresponsible remarks on what it said was China's normal military development and national defense policy, and that in fact it was NATO that was inciting confrontation, and that this was filled with Cold War mentality and an ideological bias. Now, we know that in NATO's document, it said that the close relationship between China and Russia was against Western interests. And as we know, China has not condemned Russia's invasion of Ukraine, saying it's taking a neutral stance, instead saying that it's NATO's eastward expansion that has provoked conflict. And so we see the Chinese Foreign Ministry here saying that it does not pose a systemic challenge. And what China has taken issue with even before the release of this new NATO document is what it sees as the military alliance seeking to expand its influence in the Asia-Pacific region, as Asia-Pacific countries like South Korea, Japan, Australia, and New Zealand are also taking part in this NATO summit for the first time. China also warning now that NATO has destabilized Europe and warning that it should not seek to destabilize Asia and the world. Have a listen.
北约才是世界和平稳定的系统性挑战。北约宣称自己是区域性、防御性组织，实际上却不断地突破地域和领域，到处发动战争，杀害无辜平民。
Olivia, as you mentioned, Japanese and South Korean leaders attending the NATO summit for the very first time. Japan's Prime Minister repeatedly linking Ukraine with East Asia. And we've got the British Foreign Secretary also saying the West must learn from the invasion of Ukraine and apply those lessons to protect peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait. How has Beijing reacted to statements of this nature?
Well, definitely those comments raising eyebrows, especially as the UK Foreign Secretary saying that the West and countries in the Indo-Pacific had to make sure that Taiwan was defended, and this being one of the key lessons being learned from Russia's invasion of Ukraine, although she did stop short of saying whether the UK was saying that it should help arm Taiwan. Now, China's foreign ministry hit back at this when asked about it, saying that the British foreign secretary had displayed, quote, surprising self-righteousness, adding that her comments lacked common sense, also saying that China has lodged an official complaint with Britain. And this is not the first time that parallels have been drawn between, Ukraine and Taiwan, although China has repeatedly said that this comparison is absurd. It says that Taiwan is an internal affair for China and that no external forces should interfere in this.
And thanks to Olivia Xiong there in Beijing giving us China's response to what's coming out of NATO.